Hello and welcome once again to the Performance Centre here at Howley Hall Golf Club in Leeds, where today I'm taking a look at the brand new D9 range from Wilson. Hi there, Ryan Rastall here for Golfshake.com, and as I've said, we're going to get stuck into this brand new D9 range from Wilson. In a minute, we've got driver, fairway, hybrid and irons to talk to you about. But before we do that, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. See loads more content from all of us here at Golfshake to help you play more and play better. So like I said, there's quite a few different products here to talk about, and I'm going to talk about them all individually. But to start with, I'm going to go with the new D9 driver. D9 obviously replaces the D7 range, which has been out for the last couple of years and been really successful. Certainly when I've been fitting it here in the Performance Centre at Howley, we've got some great results with not only the irons but also the wood range as well. So D9 comes in as the replacement of that, and it's got some great new technology in there as well to help most levels of golfer get a bit better performance. So let's have a bit of a talk about those. So we've got this, you can see very clearly when we look at the face, it's got PKR there in the top corner. Now PKR is the Peak Kinetic Response face that Wilson have designed, and it's all about kind of sectioning the face up into different zones and also finely tuning those zones so that when we don't hit the middle of the face, we get really good ball speed and performance all the way across it. Now this has been designed, and a lot of this D9 range has been designed using sort of computer aided design and kind of the AI and artificial intelligence way of being able to mock up lots of different scenarios, test them on the computer and see whether they work to really find the best one for the job. And Wilson have done that using their Wilson Labs as well as some of their tour players as well. So the likes of Gary Woodland and Brendan Steele have been testing this face in drivers out there on the PGA Tour. And it's undergone quite rigorous testing out there as well to make sure it performs not just for, you know, your average golfer out there, but also best players in the world. So there's lots of design been packed into this, and Wilson are saying that this is the basically the fastest and best performing face that they've ever produced. So and certainly the most technologically advanced. Now when we look at other bits of technology in there, we've got this nice carbon effect on the top. It's actually a 3-layer composite carbon crown on there, which helps to save weight, helps to lower CG as well. We've got this weight in the back there at 10 grams in the back of the head, so really making MOI that little bit better, so that we've used resistance to when we don't hit the middle of the face, we're still going to see this ball come off nice and straight and hopefully fairly quick as well. We do have the option of putting a 10 gram or a 3 gram weight in there, so if you're wanting to kind of shift the MOI around a little bit, so you could put a 3 gram in there instead of a 10 obviously, and lower a little bit of spin but also make it slightly less forgiving. So maybe your better player might want that function in there as well. So yeah, I mean, it's just packed with technology. So Wilson have gone to great lengths to make sure that this is a really good performing driver in terms of the way that the face is going to help you when you don't hit the middle of it, but also moving weight around the head so that it's functional from that perspective as well. So we know that, you know, most players don't hit the middle of the face all the time, so we need that bit of forgiveness in there too. It comes as standard with this tensile blue shaft, which has been very popular with just about every manufacturer that I deal with, and a really good quality lambkin grip on there as well. So we're going to put this to the test on the Trackman in a moment with all of the products within this range, but it looks absolutely great. It looks really, really good, I think, and certainly the best looking driver Wilson have come out with for a long, long time. Price point as well is something that's going to interest many of you. This is going to retail around the RRP is about $299. It's probably going to sell slightly less than that, maybe $269, $279 when it comes out and gets onto the internet and stuff. So, but yeah, it looks great. It looks so much better, I think, than the previous D7 driver. Looks a bit more premium, has a bit more shelf appeal there as well, and I can't wait to test it. So let's move on to the fairway woods and hybrids in this D9 line. Now, Many of you may not be familiar with Wilson fairway woods, Wilson hybrids, or Wilson products in general. It may not be a brand that you traditionally would look at when replacing your set, but when it comes to the D range that they've had out for a while now, certainly D7, which we had in last year, like I said before, very, very popular. They perform so well, and that's why I was excited to get these in and have a bit of a test with them. And I think looks-wise, they've just improved these massively on what we saw with D7. I mean, they look good, but D9, I think this colour scheme is great. It looks premium sat on the shelf there. And I just think it's a great golf club for you to, if you're not someone who wants to spend, the top end money that some of the brands are asking now, Wilson give you some unbelievably good technology at a fantastic price point. We'll get onto the price towards the end, but I want to talk to you about the technology as well. So when we look at this new D9 fairway wood, let's have a look at that to start with. So we've got this first club that Wilson have brought out in a fairway and a hybrid that's going to offer basically variable face thickness technology. So they've really looked at making this club as forgiving as possible, even when we don't hit the middle of the face. And certainly the whole story around most of the clubs coming out this season is all about forgiveness. I think most of us appreciate that we've kind of got to where we can get with club technology in terms of distance, and there's obviously parameters set there now that clubs can't come off over a certain speed, or not allowed to perform past certain levels. And what companies are really trying to do a lot of now is kind of spend a lot of money in the R&D of making things more forgiving. And certainly we've seen the emergence of AI being used in many other manufacturers, and Wilson have really used this to great effect and spent quite a lot of money actually on making sure that they kind of test product numerous amount of times in a computer generated way to make sure that the one that they release is as good as they can make right now. So the D9 features this variable face technology, which means that it's thicker and thinner in certain places, so that when we don't hit the ball out the center of the face, we get really good ball speed and forgiveness and flight. And certainly the hybrid features this as well. So we've still got it's called a marriaging steel that is used, which is really premium. It's a face insert both in the fairway wood and in the hybrid. It just gives you slightly better feel. The speed is really good off there, and the distance should be very good as well. So in fairway wood, we've got this tensile blue shaft, and again lambkin grip like we saw in the driver. And it's available in 15, 18 and 21 degrees in right-handed, and for you left-handers out there, 15 and 18 degrees it's available in as well, in A-flex, regular and stiff. When we move on to hybrid, it's available in 19, 22, 25 and 28 in right-handed, and in left-handed it's 19, 22 and 25. This features the tensile silver shaft, 70 gram here in the regular, but it's also available in A-flex and stiff as well. So can't wait to get these put to the test on the Trackman as well and see how it kind of complements the driver that we've seen before, and also the irons, which we're going to talk about next. So when we move on to the D9 iron, again, progression from the D7, which has been out for the last couple of years. I've done phenomenally well with that iron when fitting it here at the golf club, and it's because it just performs so well. When you put it up against any of the iron brands out there at the moment, the Wilson stuff really punches well above its weight. And you say that, but Wilson still have the most major victories with irons than any other brand. 62 majors players have won using Wilson irons, and certainly when it comes to producing irons, they are unbelievably good quality. And the D9, whilst it suits a slightly kind of mid to higher handicapper kind of range, it still looks great, and there's lots and lots of technology packed in there as well. So this is an iron that Wilson say is going to give you lots of distance, performance and control. So the way that it's going to do that is basically, like I've said to you with the driver and the fairway woods, Wilson have really used this computer modeling and computer intelligent design to mock up lots of iterations of this head and face, and really make sure that this D9 iron is as forgiving as they can make it, as well as give you the best control and dispersion and distance as well. So basically the technologies involved are, you can see these little slots on here, which Wilson call Power Hole 2 technology. So these little slots, which are filled with a urethane polymer, basically increase the deflection in the club face. So it means that it can flex slightly more. This face is really thin, ultra thin, and when it deflects, the urethane in there helps to get that energy that you create back into the golf ball in the form of distance. So it's really helping to get the most out of every strike that you put in, and certainly turn your club head speed into ball speed slightly more efficiently. Now, we've basically got a very lightweight shaft in here. So it's a KBS shaft, max ultralight is what it's called. It's 80 grams in an iron. Much longer tip section in this iron. You can't quite see that from here, but basically what KBS have done in making this shaft is make it so much easier to get the ball up in the air and flight it a little bit better. So we should see this iron launch nice and high very easily, but also be very forgiving on off-centre hits, and give us plenty of distance as well. Now, when this iron was being designed, Wilson said that they had 120 computers running 7 days a week, mocking up designs of this head and testing it virtually to come up with this all-round D9 design. So I'm expecting it to perform fantastically well here on the Trackman. So let's go and hit all of these products. Price-wise, before we do that, let's just talk about that. Now, a lot of you, again, like I spoke about earlier on in the video, may not even think about Wilson when you're looking at getting a new set of golf clubs, and you definitely should. Like I say, I've done phenomenally well with them here at the club when I've been fitting them, and it's really because the performance is fantastic, as we've alluded to, but also the price point is brilliant. Now, a set of irons in steel, RRP is about $499. They're probably going to be a little bit less than that in steel, $579-ish in graphite, which will probably come down a little bit as well. These are RRPs I'm talking about, but for £500 you are hard pushed to find a better iron anywhere performance wise than this. I mean, like I say, of the fittings I've done over the past 12 months with D7, it's been amazing, and certainly the performance we're getting is amazing. I'm expecting this when we test it now on the Trackman. So let's go put them all through their paces. I've got a full set of the D9 irons, as well as a driver fairway hybrid to show you. So I'll probably hit maybe half the irons in the set just to give you a bit of a look at the distances. But yeah, let's go hit some on the Trackman and show you exactly how good these are. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a look at the results. Obviously you've seen I've hit shots with all the clubs there. So with the irons, I hit a pitching wedge, an 8 iron and a 6 iron, just to give you a bit of a feel of the sort of distances I was getting with most of the set. And certainly when we look, let's look at the irons first. So on here, pitching wedge, 145 total distance, 181 with the 8 iron and 209 with a 6 iron. Now, those are seriously long numbers, okay? Now, yes, the lofts in these are strong, and we'd expect that, but certainly of all the testing I've done of other product, I don't think I've ever hit an 8 iron 180 yards. That is scary, scary long, and just they felt so forgiving as well. Now, you know, they're obviously not an iron aimed at a player like me, but because I think they're going to go too high, and I'm probably not going to get the sort of distance control that I'd like. I'm always going to hit that one that just goes miles, and that's probably not gonna help me to score any better. But certainly for that golfer who is very inconsistent with strike, struggles to get the ball in the air, and maybe needs a little bit of help with distance, these are going to tick all 3 of those boxes for you. You know, they look good behind the ball. I mean, for an iron in this category that is cavitied and a bit bigger, and you know, had that slightly larger footprint, I didn't think they looked too bad at all behind the ball. They certainly weren't big and chunky. I thought they looked lovely, and certainly swinging them and hitting them, they just felt so forgiving. And you can see with the numbers on here, the distance is awesome. And certainly when, like I say, I go back to comparing it against all the clubs that have released this year, I can't think of one really that I'm getting the sort of numbers that I'm getting with D9, and that's sort of testament to how good Wilson are at making golf clubs. You know, they are a very underrated brand in my opinion, and everything they make is top quality, and you can see here the proof is in the pudding. You know, I've hit some bad strikes here, I've hit some good ones, and the numbers are very, very good. Now, when we move on to the metalwood line, we'll start with the hybrid. Again, that looked quite nice behind the ball. I must admit, they do look a little bit kind of Mizuno-esque, I would say, which is a compliment. I think they look great behind the ball. And, you know, fairway wood-wise kind of reminded me a little bit of a Titleist as well. So they've got that premium look about them when you sit them behind the ball. But the performance, let me tell you, is, again, amazing. So we're seeing nearly 230 carry, 238 total with the 4 hybrid, which is seriously impressive. And then 3 wood, 250 carry pretty much, 270 total. So getting a decent bit of run on that as well. And you know, the spin is nicely under control. And then when we move on to driver, we can see there, look, total 310 as an average, ball speed average over 170 miles an hour. These are all things that, you know, I would look, if I could average over 170, between 170 and 180 miles an hour with a driver ball speed, I am very, very happy. You know, these numbers are brilliant. And the spin, 2,700 RPM, pretty good again. Decent height, and the ball flight was good as well, you know. And when we look at the sort of dispersion of the shots I've hit there, you can see it's pretty good. Most of these shots are on the fairway, which again I'm pretty happy with. Averaging 310 pretty much on the fairway, I'm a very happy man, you know. And it has to be said with these golf clubs, with some of the manufacturers, we're able to change shafts, and I'm able to kind of fit it for myself before I use this stuff. And with this I wasn't. They're all the woods are glued, you can't change the shafts in them. They've all come with the standard stiff flex tensai blue in the driver and fairway, tensai silver in the hybrid, and with the KBS Max, the 80 gram shaft in the irons. So nothing about that should really suit me that well, and I certainly think if I was able to do that, I could maybe get these numbers even better. And I honestly can't shout loud enough about how good the performance is with these golf clubs, and when you consider the price point of them all as well. So we're looking around the £300 mark, I think more sort of 270 mark for the driver, 180 3 wood, probably going to come down to that 170 mark, 150, 160 for the hybrid, and a set of irons for 7 clubs you're looking at about 500 quid. I honestly don't think there's much out there on the market that's going to touch this for performance at this price point. I think it's It's a family that is going to suit a hell of a lot of golfers, this, and certainly something that all of you should be going and trying when you're looking at making a purchase this year, because as I've said previously in this video, Wilson are maybe a brand that are overlooked a little bit by some of us, and certainly I've only stocked Wilson for the last sort of 12 months really, and the amount that I've sold because of this fact, the performance is stunning. I mean, I knew I was going to hit these great before I even tried them, and I can't say that about every brand that I try, you know. I just know with Wilson that the performance is always going to be there, and you know, what bigger compliment can I give them than that? So there we have it. That's our review of the Wilson D9 product line, and hope you've enjoyed it. We've loved testing it here in the Performance Centre here at Howley Hall Golf Club. Let us know what you think as well. Is it a brand that you've considered? Are Wilson a brand you already have in your bag? Please put them in the comments section below. Any questions you have. Do you want to see us put it up against some of those other clubs that we mentioned during the video to see exactly how they stack up? Yeah, please let us know, but hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all very, very soon.